Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Print and Pretzels. For tonight's edition, we're going to be having root beer from A&W and mowing down on some birthday cake pretzels from Pop Daddy Pretzels. We're going to give it a few minutes for everybody to get in here. We're going to get some stuff set up. Just chill, relax, and drop it in the comments once you land in the channel or land in the live stream. We're going to be printing with some TPU tonight, talking about the Bambu Lab H2C and some Prusa stuff. And about what happened last week while we weren't live. That was pretty fun. We're going to try to figure out what we're going to print on a TPU. We're almost at that 1,000 subscriber mark. We did hit it earlier in the week, technically, but it, where did my back go there? Technically, people have unsubscribed, so we're back below 1,000. So we're good there. We'll get there. We also got a raffle to give off tonight from our latest art fair that we did back at the Ludington Elementary School here in Ludington, Michigan. Get our. We're going to be giving away our Lions Thor hammer. If you watched some of our previous videos, we had that up on the wall. We're going to be making another one here soon. And that's actually the one we're going to be giving away. It's going to be the Color Rush version of that. It's the all black one that's going to match the Color Rush versions of that, of the Lions uniforms. If you guys are excited about some upcoming videos and content that we have coming out, we'll be releasing a video later tonight, / maybe a little bit early tomorrow, just wrapping up some final editing on that. It's going to be our top 5, technically 7, but 2 of them really aren't. Accessories for 3D printers. One of them is filament. Give that away. That's not really an accessory. That's kind of mandatory if you want to be able to print something. But we also wanted to clue some folks in on some of the cool gradient filament that we've been using here in the studio. So we got that in there. But we also include some other cool things in there. One of them is a mandatory item. I don't think I'd be a 3D printer anymore without this item. So stay tuned for that. Then we get some SCADA stuff coming out soon. Doing some cool things. We have this new file that we're test printing out for our customer. It's an advent calendar, but it kind of looks like an ornament. It's really cool. It's like a 5-pointed star and 4 sides. And we're going to be able to put our hatch pals in it. And then for the 25 days of Christmas, you're going to be able to pull the door off it and get a hatch pal every day. So that's pretty cool. We're going to have that come out. We're going to be at Crave here in Ludington, Michigan. If you don't know what that is a frozen yogurt place here on the 29th, the weekend of Thanksgiving. And we're going to be Small Business Day. So we're growing up in the world. Kids, we're growing up in the world. So thank you to everyone that's on the channel. David, I have not forgotten about your sticker. I just ran into those the other day, and I am headed to the post office probably on Friday. Dave Walton, welcome to the chat. Yes, unfortunately, the chroma kit did get delayed again. Do you mean like delayed today? Because that would kind of be sucky. I'm super excited for some stuff that I got in the works with Frozen. They're going to send us some equipment that I've been looking at getting, and I just haven't, found anything that I really liked. It's going to be an air purifier that I really want to get here in the studio because we're starting to get a few printers here now, so I want to get that going. And they want to send us an enclosure kit, so that's pretty cool. Thanks to Frozen for that. I appreciate that. So we're doing those things. So without delaying this any further, I know a few of you that if you're tuning in from here in Ludington, Michigan, and you're waiting for this to drop, I know one of the kids that was at our booth helping us out, super excited to see if they get it. I will not announce the name, but I will announce the ticket number, and I will call the number on the back of the ticket tomorrow morning, probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and let you know. It'll be a Florida number because that's where I lived for 10 years, and that number has followed me since then. So without further ado, let's get that raffle for the Ludington Elementary School going here. We got about 2 more minutes before we're going to get into the chat. David said, I think now they said December at the earliest. Now hardware is not perfect yet. I would rather them delay it and then get us a fully functional chroma kit that I don't have to worry about. So I'm not mad about that. You know, we've waited this long. It's not the end of the world. Now, I want to talk about the H2C and the snap maker here in a little bit, but let's get this raffle out of the way. I guess because getting ready to bum rush my studio here. All right, without further ado, ticket is number 396001. Again, that's yellow ticket number 396001. I will give you a call later tomorrow for that ticket. I'm going to set that right here on my computer so I do not forget that. Congratulations to that winner for the Alliance Color Rush Store Hammer. I'm still assembling that, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be an epic print. It's just like our regular Alliance Store Hammer, except for it's the Color Rush version. So super excited. So let's talk about what we want to print in TPU first. So I kind of want to print a basketball. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe we'll start small. We'll do like a pickleball. I have this cool. Oh, it's over there on the thing. I have this cool gradient TPU filament that I found. Just well, it found me on Amazon in my cart. Sitting here thinking, what do I want to print that's gonna look really cool? That'll be functional. And I know, hi Momo. I know, judging by I've looked at these videos in the past that TPU can do some pretty cool things, but my mother-in-law Teresa, she plays pickleball, so I'm wondering if I can't print a pickleball or / tennis ball in TPU and it be functional. So let's try that out. Shout out to you, Teresa. Thank you for all the support that you do here for us for the channel. This episode's dedicated to you. So let's check out this filament here real quick before we get too far into this. So this is TPU, and I'm not sure how it feels. It's first time I've ever done anything with TPU. I did the research. The fumes aren't toxic to our little friends here in the studio or management. This is, whoa, this is like noodle. Now I see why it causes problems in the AMS. This is epic. It must wind differently than what do I see? So this is from Zero 3D Filament, ZIRO. It's TPU gradient, rainbow gradient. Flex rainbow is what they call it. Print temperature recommends for 200 to 230 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but usually I get 2 kilogram rolls, but it looks like this is only 0.8 kilograms. So we're gonna have to make sure whatever we print. This is weird. Like, whoa. Never felt filament like that before. That's really cool. So, David Walton, I watched the Pentagon Shield install. Did not know there was a menu option to control the back fan based on the filament you select. I did not know that either, David. To control the back of the fan, watch the Shield install video. I did not know there was a menu option to control the back fan based on the filament you select. Huh, I'll have to check that out. I know that port on the back is big enough that they actually make an adapter, a magnetic adapter, I believe, that comes with the air purifier that they make with it. That Frozen's just released that they should be sending to us. So I'm excited about that. But let's. This is going to be weird putting it in the PTFE tube and shoving it down in there. But let's see if we can find a pickleball file over on like Maker World or something. So let us get Internet Explorer pull up here. Go over to Maker World here real quick before I share my screen. And we're going to go to pickleball. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. found a button to do that again. Where the heck did it go? There it is. Capture. Oh. Alright, so hopefully you can see my screen. The pickleball and paddle here is what I'm going to print off. It's by 3D XAV. And let's see if we can download this. It's going to be in Bambu Studio. I'll just do the 3MF files here. And then we'll open it up on Orca Slicer. And I've already got preloaded in there the generic TPU filament, because I don't know anything. I know absolutely nothing about TPU, except that you definitely want glue sticks. So you guys are going to watch me. I'm going to take this build plate off here, and we're going to slather this thing with a glue stick. So, and I'm waiting for Orca Slicer to open up here. Okay, so there it is. So I don't really want the paddle. Oh, that's kind of neat to know. You can, the frozen Arco, the build plate's so big that you can print an entire pickleball paddle on it. I might try that actually. Put our logo or something on it. All right, so let's click on this build plate here. I am imagining, okay, so there's a flat spot, so it won't be a true pickleball, but it's pretty close. She'll appreciate it, I think. So let's slice this while we're going here. I just want to see what it looks like at PLA. So PLA takes an hour and 20 minutes. So by the end of the live stream. So now let's go down to, I could have swore I put in, if I didn't, I'll have to do it again. Generic, okay, so I'll have to do it again. So I'm going to go down here and add remove filament. And it's going to take a second to load. I don't know why it does that. It's got to go through a database that's located somewhere in the interwebs. Just to give you guys an update on why we were on the live stream last week, we were still trying to find that stupid little spring from the hall sensor. And obviously, I mean, we did something with it, right? You know, we're up and running again, but it wasn't the spring that it came with. So I'm going to release a video on this at some point. I don't know when, but I did get with Frozen, and I made sure that it wasn't going to avoid anybody's warranty if they did this, so, because I'd done it, and I'm like, well, if I avoided my warranty, that's okay, that is what it is. But I don't want to lead anybody else down the wrong road. So I reached out to them, and it doesn't avoid the warranty. If you lose your hall sensor spring, if you have a Sharpie pen, just the regular Sharpie pen, not the Sharpie markers, you can cut the ends off that spring, both ends, the compressed ends, and then the section that's not compressed, if you cut it in half, it will fit in the frozen Arco. So right now I am printing with half. Technically that'd be like more like a quarter of a Sharpie spring, and it's working. So hey, shout out to you guys. If you gotta find home remedies to keep your printers going, let's all do it together. Let's see here. Now that this is loaded up, so there should be a generic profile here, or maybe I'll do this to do the Bambu TPU for this. All right, so now it should be in here. Yep, Bambu TPU 95A. Now let's see, it was an hour and 20 minutes before. Let's see what it does with TPU now. Yeah, it adds an hour to the print time. Not a whole lot of filament, which is cool, but let's grab that glue stick over here in my workshop in here. And I believe I have a Bambu glue stick somewhere in my boxes. Awesome this here. I got an Elegoo one, that'll work. By the way, if you guys have an Elegoo Centauri carbon, I'm sorry, I don't think they're releasing the multi-color unit on that. We have turned in our codes, or our redemption things for. I have mixed feelings about it. I understand from a business point of sight for the Elegoo Centauri carbon on, hey, you know, they don't have, I think it's a hardware limitation for the motherboard. I don't know for certain. I'm not affiliated with Elegoo or anything. I have 2 Elegoo Centauri carbons myself. I did turn my redemptions in for the $80 towards the LEU Centauri Carbon 2s, whenever they come out with the multicolored. I imagine if anything like the price point of the LEU Centauri Carbon when it came out, that was really low, it was affordable. However, as a customer, when they told us they advertised it in the beginning, they made a bunch of sales, that just feels awful. So if you purchased an LEU Centauri Carbon, I am sorry that you were going through that. I am going through it with you. Shake this up. And I'm right there with you. And don't think you're alone. It's painful. I still want to be not necessarily faithful to LEU, but I am going to try out those LEU Centauri Carbon 2s whenever we get around to it with a coupon. I know you can get like $50 off a $100 filament order. They offered that. Good job, Momo. So there's tons of other options, or there's 3 options, not tons. The second option is you can extend your warranty on the LEU Centauri Carbons. They have, from what I understand from some of the other content creators I've seen out there, they don't really recommend that because that's just essentially letting them off the hook, and it doesn't cost them absolutely anything to extend that warranty. So yes, it's just a cruddy situation. And I will preface it all by saying, or now afterwards, just buy your printers, and we're learning this as well, buy your printers on what they currently are able to do at the time of release, not promises, and then you won't have to worry about, not promises not made. So with those new printers coming out and talking about it, let's get on to the H2C from Bambu. I'm going to turn my screen back on here because I just realized I probably didn't do that for you guys yet. So let's do that. Sorry about that. Right now we're grabbing this glue stick so we can get this TPU ready. So the H2C, the snap maker you want, the new Prusa printer, all these new printers that are coming out that are for multicolor, purgeless material, wasteless material. It really depends, in my opinion, on what, and I'm going to release an actual video on this topic later, probably in the week or next week, after I watched enough reviews and seen some of the content creators out there on what my impressions are from the different content creators. I wish I had an H2C to be able to tell you firsthand, but I don't, and I can't afford that right now. But from what I've seen so far, it seems to be that while it's a cool system, I think the more bang for your buck is going to be with that snap maker you would, assuming that it comes out fully functional once we get it here. We're getting one of those. We did back that. So I think if you're printing with 4 colors or less, or 4 materials or less at once, that's going to be your more bang for your buck. It does have the smaller build plate. It's 270, not the 300 or whatever the H2C has. But all right, that should be enough on there. It's only a tiny little ball. So keep your eye out for that. David Walton, I'm just seeing your comment, sorry. So you MacGyvered a solution. Yes, I definitely did MacGyver. I don't know if you ever seen the show as old Sanford and Sons. I kind of feel like Sanford and Son trying to put my printer back together here. David Walton, you really need to buy the $2,800 version that comes with 2 AMS and extra nozzles if you want to print 7 colors. Yeah, you do need to buy that if you don't have any AMSs. I have several. I'm actually working with Bambu to get one of our AMS2 Pros fixed. They're setting on a new power board for it. They couldn't abandon the AMS. They make too much money off of them. I agree. They do make too much money on them. However, sorry, I was really thirsty. However, if these tool changers come out here and they really start changing the landscape, they're not going to have a choice. Now, I think with that patent that they filed a while back, I think that they're thinking forward. I think they're going to change tool changers. They're going to go to the tool changers, but also still keep their AMSs as well. Because there should be no reason why they can't, in theory, program the AMSs with a tool head. Like, it's just a small version of printer. Just make it work with that. It'd be able to program which AMS goes with which tool head. So that way you get the best of both worlds. Bambu, if you haven't done that yet, I should have patented that idea. But I'm pretty sure that's what your guys' patent was for. But let's get this loaded up. The snap maker you want is definitely, I mean, you can get two and a half snap makers for the same price as the H2C, I think, without the combo units. So it's going to be hard to justify that. I still think they're going to come out with a P2C, more budget friendly, because with maybe 2 or 4 Vortex nozzles on it. So let's get this guy going. This is so weird. I don't. Ugh. It's almost creepy in a way. So I have to do the cutter nozzle, roll back to filament. Now that I think about that, I don't think I should have done that way. So, with TPU being as soft as it is, I don't think it's going to be able to purge the nozzle. Prusa with the 8 index looks nice. It does look nice. I hope we can get our hands on one at some point. So, what I was saying about the filament here, I don't think I should have done it that way because of how flexible the TPU is. I do not think that the extruder will be able to push it out. I think I'm going to have to do a retraction. So get this out of the way here. Get our fill plate back in our. I'm going to heat up our nozzle. I just, in my head, for some reason, this filament is super squishy. I don't think the extruder gears are going to be able to pinch it enough to have enough force to push the rest of the material. I previously had PETG in there. So, while we wait for that to heat up, put this in here. Let me see if I can get the printer cam going here for you. Got a new setup here for the printer cam so that we can get a better view of what we're doing here. All right, let's see if I can turn this on so you guys can see. There we go. Decent. And just you can see the PETG coming out of there, oozing out. I don't know why it's so blurry though, it's weird. As far as I can get it to go over that way, I think, yeah, right there. This is a new setup. We're getting upgrades, guys. So just back a little bit, or no, it's going to go this way. So we're going to retract that filament here. There we go. That's the way I got to turn it. This is interesting doing it backwards. I'm going to extrude a little bit out of there, so that way. Oops. I don't know if you guys have had this issue or not, but for some reason, my PTFE tube won't clip in there again. I think I need to do one of those Bowden tube clamps. I'm pretty sure it's coming with the parts that Frozen's sending me. So, all right, so that should be enough extruded on there. I'm going to retract this filament. So that way, flip a little bit more. This down. Track when the filament. All right. This is a really cool PETG that we got from Strong Hero 3D. It's Rainbow Gem. We actually printed this guy. Cinderwing 3D on it. We filled up the whole build plate with this thing. Oh, you guys can't see me. You can't see me. Filled up the whole build plate with the Arco on this one. It's a pretty big print. And it's definitely rainbow and gemmy. All right, let's get this in there. Oh, this is crazy. I hope this works, guys. If it doesn't, we'll find out together. First time ever doing TPU. It's kind of weird to push it through the tube. It's like pushing Jello, if I had to say. And it's taking a minute to get down there, just because it's so squishy. I can see why it doesn't go through an AMS. I'm gonna have to do this. I think I'm gonna have to force feed it through the top while I try to extrude it, because it's not wanting to go down into the extruder. Maybe we're not gonna print this. It is like actual Jello. I am kind of. There it went. Okay, it bit it. Now see if this goes through. If it goes through. Oh my God, it's going through. Woo! That's awesome. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's going through. Whoa. Okay, it's like butter. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's, oh, wow. It's like, I mean, it's hot, but it's spongy. All right. Let's let's go over to our orca slicer here and hit print and see what happens. You guys won't see me do this. It's just I gotta click print. It's printing now, upload on print. Now what you guys are gonna see is something I've been dealing with the last couple of days. Actually, probably about the last week. It's 2 weeks. This will print for probably, I don't know, 15 minutes, and it'll pause and say it's run out of filament. That's not true. I have to go in into Orca Slicer or Fluid and click resume, and then it doesn't say that anymore. It's some sort of weird error. I even upgraded all the way to the newest firmware, didn't change it, and then I was having some different issues, so I re-rolled back to some old firmware. I'm printing fine, but it's still, this is, oh my word. This is gonna be, if this turns out, this is gonna be a cool pickleball. It's even after it's been extruded, it's still really squishy. Like, wow. I can't pull it apart. I can't, like, you can still see the layer lines in it, but I can't pull it apart. That's kind of magical. It's like one of those finger traps. You can see it. Can't do anything about it. This heating nozzle slash print bed, homing heating nozzle. So I don't know if anybody else has printed with the Frozen Arca with TPU yet. So we're gonna find out. Maybe we're first, maybe we're not. If we aren't, then oh well, we are. Cool. Printing a pickleball. All right, here we go. Let's see if you guys are getting a good shot of the printer there. I'll angle this down so you can see more of the print bed. It should print right in the middle of that print surface you see there. I put a ton of glue on it. Right now it's doing its auto leveling and heated auto leveling. So while it's doing that, let's talk about what we're probably going to do with the H2C and the Snapmaker U1. I'm really excited for that Snapmaker U1. And it's not for the traditional, multicolor. I mean, yeah, it is part of it. But I'm looking for a machine that can print in glow filament multicolor. Because it's so abrasive, the AMS units really get tore up by it. I mean, not so much the units, but the PTFE tubes in it get really tore up. And it's really a pain in the butt to go have to take it apart and redo the PTFE tubes every time that you got to do it. Or even the tubes that run from the AMS to the back of the unit. Those have to be replaced. It would be super nice if it works out with the Snapmaker one that I can just replace the PTFE tube that goes from the printhead to the filament spool and make it super simple. They say that they have hardened nozzles on there, or no, I had to get that as an upgrade. I got the 0.6 millimeter nozzle upgrade just because that bigger diameter is going to be a little bit less abrasive when the glow material goes through it, so it should be pretty good. And David, could it be the runout sensor after the nozzle's hot for a while, the spring or something shifts? I was having that issue with the stock spring, David. I don't know what it is. I've reset the Frozen. They don't really know what it is. I've got a workaround for it, so I'm not too worried about it. You'll see it here in a little bit. I'm guessing, unless for some reason it just magically doesn't happen. But what'll happen is it'll start printing a little bit, and then I'll have to go into the Orca slicer, into the machine, and say resume, and then it won't ask me to do it again. It'll still show up on the screen saying, hey, there's no filament in there, but it'll still print. It's a weird workaround, but I'm guessing it's some sort of software issue. I have a new Hall sensor coming from Frozen, and I also have a whole new extruder head assembly coming from Frozen. At some point, they'll ship it out to me, and it'll get here. Hopefully before our chroma kit gets here, because I'd love to be able to print the multi-filament with that without this issue going on. All right, so it looks like the homing is done-ish. I can see if it does work out for that glow filament in the Snapmaker U1, that would be a very, very big deal, especially for others that want to print like carbon fiber, and especially once they get that top cover, that's going to be a big deal for those that like to print EDS, carbon fiber, and those engineered grading materials. I don't know how big that machine is going to be with that big top cover. I haven't stopped to think about it yet. I can't imagine it'd be too much bigger than the Frozen Arco or maybe the H2D or slash C. I know it's going to be tall, but to me, it's not going to bother me with that top cover. As long as the machine works, that's really what I care about. I'll just call it my space capsule. I want to see what the index system comes out from Prusa. I'm hoping it's really that much cheaper than the Prusa XL, the one with the 5 tool heads on it. That one, I don't know anybody in my life that could afford that. I think if you get all 5 tool heads, it's like $5,000. Hoping that the Snapmaker U1 pushes that price down, since it's so similar. You get one additional color, and you get a bigger build volume, obviously, but yeah, push that price point down. All right, what we got going on here? See, okay, so now it's saying filament is sufficient. Here, that's the code that back camera up here. You guys will see here, maybe. It's kind of blurry. So it says filament insufficient, and that's the error code that I've been getting for the last week or so. Trading the proper way. I'm gonna get you guys back to the camera here. Here we go. Getting closer. So that's what I've been getting. I gotta go into Orca Slicer here and into the machine. Orca Slicer will cooperate with me. And into the device. And I just click the resume button that's at the top of the screen. And then it says, okay, let's go. And here we go with our pickleball. I really want to get a good bird's eye view here real quick with that. All right, it's doing it. Let's see how well. Some of the things I was reading about TPU is that first layer, sometimes you really want to adjust that Z offset to squish it so it adheres better. I don't know if I'll have to do that with the generic or the Bambu profile or not. We'll see. See how well it adheres. Wish I could show you guys a little bit better what is going on down there. That's as far as the camera pole goes down. So hopefully, we'll let that go for a minute. We'll check on it. If we have any weird things going on with it, it'll be noticeable here in a minute. We'll see blobs going everywhere. But if you guys are having any problems with your Hall sensor, you take it apart, do not lose that spring. I would suggest have a parts bucket in the machine with you underneath it, and you immediately drop it into that bucket. Otherwise, if you drop it in that machine and it goes down those Z-axis holes, you're never going to find it again. Or if it goes through the poop chute and back, it's a tiny spring. It's a quarter of the size of a cookie pen spring, so it's easy to lose. And then you're stuck until you find an alternative method or whatnot. It looks like it's adhering. That's exciting. Oh my word. Never thought I'd be printing a pickleball. So is it right after it finishes the bed leveling? It depends. So when I'm printing with David, this is your question. I'm sorry. If I'm printing with PLA or ETG, it's usually sometime within the first layer. Apparently, when I'm printing with TPU here, it's before it even starts to print, like right before it starts. So I'm guessing it's got to be because of the resistance of the material going through is what's causing that issue. So it is something with the spring. I don't know. Or that hall sensor board maybe not being entirely functional anymore. So it's got to be something with going through that area. Whoa. When it's doing the overhangs at the bottom of the pickleball, it's like flexing. I've never seen material do that before. That's really cool. I'm gonna say something that material distracted me. This is uh, this is crazy, and I didn't see anything online to where it has to be in an enclosure per se. But that doesn't mean it's not supposed to. I'm going to leave the door open, and if it causes me some issues, then I'll adjust the fire. But I want the best camera clarity is going to be with the door open. Andrew Crowd, welcome to the chat, buddy. Fortunately, that spring is magnetic. I almost lost one once when I got it from a magnet. Yeah, that was wild. Oh my word, that was a mess. I'm just glad that it was one of those, and I'm known for doing this. You can, Abby, you can throw it in the chat. You can concur. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, hey, I wonder if the big clicky pen spring would work. I happen to have a Sharpie pen, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this thing apart tomorrow. I did it, and it worked. So I'm glad to be able to provide that for the community, and that it doesn't void your guys' warranty. So it was really fun to do that. They got us back up and printing with our Frozen Arco. I am sad to hear about that chroma kit, but again, let's get us a fully functional unit. If we've waited this long, it's not going to be the end of the world. Yeah, by the time we get it, you know, we have the H2C out, we got the U1 coming. Maybe we'll have our U1 before we get the chroma kit. It is what it is. I want to say thank you to Frozen because they, you know, this is their first venture into FDM printing, and first ventures, being as a new business owner, are hard. You know, it's a journey. So I'm sure they're learning a lot of things. I'm sure they're gonna go into doing some sort of new printer in the future to keep up with everything that's going on in the world, with the tool heads and the color changers. I think that they can get their own share of the market and all that. And I like the ingenuity that they have behind with the flying gantry. I totally think I wish they would have done a little bit differently with that, is to close off those Z-axis holes. That's when we're up. You lose a screw down there, you gotta flip over your machine, take the bottom off to get it out, unless you have a magnet, which, and if it's still in that same area. Oh boy, oh boy. The overhang that this is printing is pretty impressive. I probably should have supported it, but I don't really know much about TPU and supporting it. So if we have some bad overhangs, I'll do some research and be like, okay, this is what I needed to do. But knock on wood, I'm just happy sticking to the build plate. Oh, that's something else I wanted to talk to you guys about with the H2C. After watching a bunch of the review videos, the biggest flaw with that machine, it seems like, is the build plate, the heating of it. I was watching on one of the videos, I can't remember which one it was, but he took a heat gun to it, and you could see where it is superheated as the coil spots, but the center of the build plate is still 10 to 15 degrees cooler than where it's heating up at. So it's not very good in that aspect. So be on the lookout for that. PLA, PETG, I don't think you're going to have an issue with that, but if you're trying to pair an ABS with that, that could be an issue. And if you do have an issue with that with PLA and PETG, I think if you get one of the BQ build plates for it, I think that would solve the issue because you're able to print on that surface at a much lower temperature with those two materials, PETG and PLA. And I think a couple others, but nothing of like engineer grade material, I don't think. Wow. Let me look on that file, see if they should I should have supported it. The file says to print it in PLA tough, but I want the pickable paddle. Doesn't really have any guidance on the printing the ball. So we're doing it blind. So we do have a little bit of a blob on there now. Don't know where it came from. But I will say, I'm quite impressed with the overhangs that it's doing. Watching that material print is so weird. I'm used to watching PLA when it goes, or in PETG when it goes down, it like immediately gets solid and it doesn't do anything. I'm watching this material like flex hardcore, and it's not coming off the build plate either. You guys can begin to see it out from underneath. Yeah, you should be able to see it now out from underneath the print head from time to time. I don't know why I'm getting this like glob of a ball out of it. You watch. But hey, it's the first print in a brand new material. I'll take it. My goal is to be able to do one of these flexi toys in that squish material and just be able to like squish this thing and it pops back out. So if that works out, it'll be really cool. I might try out a small version of one of these during the week. I can't do it on any of the other machines because I have AMSs and stuff like that. I could try it on the Centauri Carbon, but I've had too many issues with that machine when it comes to like new material. If I had PLA or PETG, I don't have any issues at all, but I don't know if I want to try TPU on it just yet. I know Uncle Jesse's done it and he had no problem, but wow. Watching that stuff flexes. So if you guys have watched any of the Snapmaker U1 videos, and have you seen if with the multi-material that they're going to be able to do on that, have you seen any of the reviewers print with TPU yet? I don't think I have. With that material being as flexible as it is, I don't know how going through that feeder is going to work. I was going to try to be ambitious and print off a dice tower in the flexible TPU, but so I can fold it up and put it in my pocket. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I'm just excited about this new material. Learning new things is always fun. Question for you guys. Have you seen any other new printers coming out recently? I've seen, obviously the H2C P2S came out. I don't know if that's available yet. I know the H2C is able to be bought in the United States now, finally. Have you seen any new ones coming out that on Kickstarter? I haven't really seen too many new releases. I know Prusa's coming out with theirs. Ask a question in the chat. Anycubic has the S1 Max. Let's check that out real quick. Share my screen while we're waiting for this magic ball to print here. I wonder if I can do one of the fidget toys that we got from River Balls and TPU. He's got some pretty cool like slime ball things. Just don't know how like the mechanisms would work with this material. Again, I almost think they gotta be rigid so they slide in and out eventually. Let's look at the Anycubic S1 Max. Havoc 3D, welcome to the chat, by the way, in the live stream. Thanks for joining us. Anycubic S1 Max. Share my screen with you all so you can see what I'm seeing. Stay here, capture this. On, turn off my mic here so you can see it. Definitely in the United States. So, printers, go S1 Max combo. Deposit, which seems to be the norm for these new printers coming out. They want a deposit so they get your commitment. See what this makes different. What makes this printer different? That's a quite large build volume, 350 by 350 by 350. That's excellent. 4XY system. So he's got 3Z access rods. My mic is muffled apparently. Let's see if I can't fix that. Z access rods, active chamber heating. Okay, that's good. High temperature hot end. Looks like it'll have heated administration or AMS system. H2 Pro is what they're calling it. 16 color printing. Founder's price, $7.99. I just want to know, are they trying to be they say they can support TPU, but I don't know if it's going to be all supported in there. Yeah, that's H2 Pro. multicolor printing. I don't see anywhere on there where they have anything where we're like to eliminate purge and stuff like that. So this seems like to be one of the current generation machines. Yeah. Which for that price and that build volume, that's pretty good. $7.99, that's huge. That's way cheaper than like the H2D, which, or H2S, I should say. And it's the same build volume. No, bigger, I think. It's H2S. H2S build volume. Yeah, it's bigger than the H2S. H2S is 340 by 320 by 340, which 350 by 350 by 350 is decent size bigger. At least you don't have to deal with that awkward 320 and then 340, 340. So that's cool looking printer. Let's get back on the webcam here. See what we're doing with a pickleball. Cheaper than a K2 Plus that has the same build volume. Yeah, I would say. Having tweeted there, my $50 on the first day. Good, but you gotta let me know how it turns out. I definitely want to know if it's worth the having that extra build volume, because I can print much bigger things, and even the Frozen Arco is only 300. So now that I think about that, that's going to be a monster printer. The Frozen Arco takes up the whole shelf as it is already. I got 2.5 inches of clearance in the back. So if I do get an H2S or H2C at some point, I'd have to like build like a shelf extension or something. Maybe put it in like at a corner. I don't think we're gonna get a truly shapen pickleball, but it's not falling off the build plate yet, so that's a start. And it's only a 2-hour print, so I don't mind letting it go. Having to, we'll do when it comes. I appreciate that. I like knowing all this information about and the testing of the community from these different 3D printers. As you can see, we have a few different ones here in the studio. 4 of the yeah, I can count. 4 of the 7 in the studio are Bambu printers, just because they work. But the other 3 are different printers that we've, checked out of the community. I technically have a Neptune 4 Pro, but he is out of the garage. he doesn't have an enclosure around him, and he's not like the A1 Mini where it's small enough to where the cats don't really, fuss about it. I would absolutely love to be able to print one of these in TPU. I think it would just be really interesting to just have fidget with. I think we're getting a blob. No, maybe not. The overhangs are doing okay. I just don't know with how, where did that little piece go there? With how flexible it is, I don't know if the spirature of the overhangs can support themselves, so I might have to go back in there and, I don't even know how supports work for TPU, but put supports in. It's looking okay. I I didn't really have any high expectations to be able to print with this material. If any of you guys have printed with TPU, you know, definitely looking forward to any sort of advice for it. I'll look out on the interwebs throughout the week until next week and get some knowledge going on the material. If there doesn't seem to be any scent from it that I can tell of, it's not like some of those other ones like ABS. I'm like, you can't even be within 3 feet of that when printing. So that's kind of nice. Eventually, I would like to print my own shoes in TPU. Get the bragging rights to that. It's legitimately. I also want to know how it's going to perform if it can get that far with the holes in the pickleball, because there's circles on a sphere. As it goes up, like how does it handle the overhangs on the overhang? Like I said, assuming you can get to that point. I am very impressed with the Arco. It's not having any like issues extruding the filament at all. I was a little worried with how, I don't know if you guys have gone into your hot ends or not yet, or the heater block where you see the extruder gears are and how there's like that gap between the extruder gears and where the filament goes in. I wasn't quite sure if the filament gears were going to be close enough to get this wiggly material through it. But it's doing it, no problem. Oh man, I'm just thinking of different things I can print with this material. Cinder Wing's got a frog, it'd be really cool to print out. Stretchy, and if I can get this material down pat, it'd be really cool. Andrew Crabb, I've printed with TPU before, print slow. I've only printed a couple small things, not much. We're definitely moving pretty slow there, I think, because I use that standard Bambu TPU profile. I have not seen a printer move this slow in quite a while. Well, we've gotten to the point to where it's up to the first holes in the pickleball. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, sure, the one side is not pretty, not pretty at all. But for an unknown filament that's off-brand on a machine that I, just put a spring together the other day to put it back together, I'm gonna call this one a win. Just for the fact that we got it to stick to the build plate. I say that, but we're not done printing yet. See if I can adjust that camera so you guys can see a little bit better. Adjust it to where it's more in the center. There you go. I wish there was somewhere I could clamp the camera inside of the actual machine. It's pretty crazy. So if you're just joining the live stream here tonight, we did our raffle for Alliance Store Hammer that we're raffling off from our last art fair that we did this past weekend on Saturday at the Wellington Elementary School. Again, that ticket number is 396001. Yellow ticket 396001. We weren't on live last week because we had technical difficulties. Even after a week, I still couldn't find my spring. And I was like, dang, I really want to be able to print something cool on Arco. So we got that fixed with a pen spring from a Sharpie pen. Then earlier we talked about the H2C and how unless you have a very best way to say this is you have a very specific reason to buy that machine. From the reviews that I've seen so far, unless you have a bunch of AMS, which I do, I have quite a few AMSs. It doesn't fill the need that I would have for multi-color printing and multi-material printing. The jury is still technically out on it though, because we don't have either the H2C or the Snapmaker U1 for the comparison from the Vortex to the tool changers. We've seen plenty of reviews out there, but they are content creators that are much larger than us. And they get these machines and they review them. And a lot of them do great reviews. So once we get our U1 here, probably the next couple of months, we got a November early bird special. So it should be, I think it said sometime end of December, beginning of January, barring any delays. We'll be able to tell, at least for our needs, which are, well, we need to be able to do multicolor. That's first and foremost. Second, I do not want to have any more waste or very minimal waste because I want to do some epic multicolor prints. 3, I really need to find a system that that can tolerate abrasive materials much better. Currently, the AMS units, they do okay. They get jammed up a lot. I have to fix the PTFE tubes a lot inside of the AMS units, so it can be a little bit of a pain. If I can eliminate that and just be able to click print and go with that low material or that carbon fiber or whatever abrasive I want to use. Wood PLA, I really like wood PLA. I've got some cool things I'm going to be doing with that. It makes a difference to be able to handle abrasives and not have the wear and tear on these units. I'll keep the AMSs obviously for whenever I do get H2C because I think that it will be useful, especially for multicolor printing if I'm not doing it in abrasives. There's plenty of other materials I've printed that aren't in abrasives, which those systems will be used for, so I don't have to deal with all the maintenance on them. So that's what our needs are for these new systems that are coming out. Drop it in the comments on what your needs are for multi-material printing. If you have multi-material, multi-color printing needs, if you don't, then you're in a better situation than I am. If you can just sit there and enjoy the printers, that's good. We're using it for business purposes and live streams, and we want to push the envelope and start building this community out. And, if you guys have questions or materials to try, I want to be able to try them and do more live streams like we're doing here with TPU. I really want to try, if I can ever get my hands on some of the filament. Big Tree Tech just put out like a TPU-ish material. And it's supposed to be super flexible. I have to get my hands on that. It's super expensive though. I think it's like $60 a roll. Like, oh, this might be a minute before we get our hands on that. While it's cool to have out there, I think the affordability of it for most people is going to be an important factor. The need for that type of flexible material, and maybe a business setting, if you have like gaskets and stuff to print, you can use that material properly. But as far as this type of thing goes, I I don't see the average person needing that type of material for anything else. The whole world starts to print their own shoes. And then I can uh, see that being a possibility. Oh, and we're releasing a video either later tonight, or sometime tomorrow on some of the top upgrades you can do for your printers as gifts for this holiday season. Technically, there's 7, but 2 of them are essentials, I would say. I wouldn't go without them. It helps out those watch hours too. If you haven't checked out our shorts yet, those are really cool. I've just learned how to use Nexus because that's a pretty cool program that AI is doing amazing, or if you look at it in a different lens, terrifying things in the world today. But it makes life more efficient. I don't have to spend 3 hours editing a 30-second video. You get to do more cool things like this. All right, let's take a look. I can't really see from the camera view. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not handling this front right quadrant very well. The other sides of the ball are handling well. It looks like it's where the seam is. I'm gonna have to stop this print, unfortunately. Printed trucker. My group does slicer and slices, pizza and printing. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now for sort of print and pretzels. So slicer and slices. I like that. Coin that term. You guys should try with TPU. This is an interesting material. It kind of looks like pizza. I'm gonna stop this print here real quick, and I will show it to you guys on camera. I'm gonna stop it through. Orca slicer right there. All right. All right. Let's see here. It was adhered very well. So I'm gonna borrow the frozen camera here, so you guys can see. So it was doing pretty good, except for right here. This is the interior of the pickleball. You can see this or not? Yeah. Printed trucker. Love printing with TPU. Fun results and frustrating failures sometimes. I would say this is somewhere in between. Oh, this is interesting. And I can fold. Wow. Could never do this with PLA. No way. So that's the pickleball. It was handling it pretty well, but once it got out to here, I think if I put supports here, it probably would do just fine. I'll probably try to do that. But it's crazy. The flexibility of this material. I definitely have to see what the stringing is all about. I'm pretty sure TPU is hydroscopic. See how this is just peeling off of there. That's interesting. But they handle some of these circles pretty well. Pretty impressed. I wonder how bouncy this is. Interesting. So now I'm going to try something different. So we're going to pull our wheel plug back out of here. I'm going to print something that doesn't require supports. It'll be a cinder wing item. Oops, sorry, that was loud. Put our glue back on here. Kyle Corley. Hey, Kyle. Welcome to the live stream, buddy. Pretty sure you are ticket number 396001, correct? Iceman74, welcome to the live stream. We're trying out TPU, man. Oh, this stuff is weird, but awesome. Your boy Ash, welcome to the live stream. We're printing with TPU tonight. This stuff is flexible, it's crazy, it's weird. And I was trying to print a pickleball with it. It was sort of turning out, but not really. I believe I needed to use supports. And then, this is just wild. I gotta figure this out. That's gonna be fun to do. But let's get this on the pill plate. Oops, put the cap back on. I want to get some more glue in there. I want to try printing out one of the smaller dragons by Cinderwing, just to Cinderwing, just to get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Educate me. All right. Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing just to some Crocs for wife. TPU will be running about 14 hours. You got, man. I need to learn. Oh, maybe educate me. We gotta have, like, how do you handle some supported areas? Let's see here. What would you suggest? Get that dragon pulled up here. Doing Is that better, guys? Is the audio still in a loop? Dang. Why is it in a loop? All right. Has it cleared up? I see some yeses and some nos. Okay. We got enough. It's better. I don't know. That was weird. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen. Test, test, test. Can you hear me? Is there a loop? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I just unplugged the microphone and plugged it back in. Ah, glad we got that cleared up. Sorry that you guys had to suffer through that. My apologies. So I'm going to share my screen here now that we've got that fixed. So you guys can see exactly what I'm going to try to print on this. It is a frog from Cinderwing 3, or a toad from Cinderwing 3D. It seemed that TPU handled the linkage pretty well, or the overhangs for the pickleball for the most part. I'm going to see if it'll handle this toad and how well it'll handle it. Because if I can print squishy toads, that'd be fun. And then eventually, when I get the multicolor unit for the U1 multicolor unit, I can do TPU multicolor because it's got separate toolheads and it doesn't have to go through that AMS type system, which can't retract the TPU because it's so squishy. 2 hours and 49 minutes. Let's put this build plate back on here before I destroy my printer. I gotta get this screen back up for you guys. Kyle, yes, you were at the art fair, and I did give you a shout out earlier. Check your yellow ticket number, buddy, because I'm pretty sure 396001 is you. All right, I'm going to click print now. See how this toad starts. I'd like to be able to offer like squishy toads to people to be able to like squish them. All right, it's going. I guarantee you I'm going to have to do the same thing I did earlier with clicking that resume button. Yes, sir. You did get us to 1,000, but I don't know what happened. People unsubscribe. We're back to 9 something, I think. You did get us to 1,000, though, my friend. Don't know what happened from there, though. We had 8 people. Is the audio still clear, guys? Okay, I was a little worried. Right. So it looks like this frog's gonna, or toe is gonna take about 2.5 hours. Hoping we get to see the first, I don't know, third of it. But I will have to click resume once it's done doing the auto bed leveling, because it happens every time. So it's not a big deal. It's just slightly inconvenient. This material, I you can play some good pranks with the pickleball with this material because it's so squishy. And if the frog works and the articulations still work on it, I think it'd be really fun to print something of this size on that out of TPU. It seems like wherever the curvature was for the pickleball holes, it seemed like it still did pretty well. Uh, it just depends on how well it handles the. I believe that overhangs are created with the linkage on these types of things. The frog is a little bit smaller linkage, so it shouldn't be too bad. We'll just have to see with TPU. I definitely want to do some more of this though. It's really cool. I it, it's cool that it squishes and it forms back out. And then that should be the last point in the auto leveling coming up here soon. Also, pretty soon we should be able to print in some of those engineering type materials because I will have Frozen is going to send us the air purifier system that they have, which I'm really thankful for, and we'll be able to vent it out through the vent that we have right up here in the ceiling, and I'll be able to not have any of the toxic fumes and stuff. Iceman 7438 LU handles the TPU like a champ. Does it really? I have two of them. I've been kind of nervous to, to try it on there, to be honest. Does it? Can you do overhangs? That's something I don't know too much about. Is it similar like with PLA and PETG, where if you wanted to do like a ball, I need to support it. The bottom of the ball was a flat side, but and it adhered just fine. I just the it seemed like as it got out for the curvature, it was doing worse and worse. If you guys have any suggestions on how I can achieve making this pickleball a reality, I would am all ears because, or all eyes for comments. Uh, 'Cause this was cool. Just having the circle, the the slice of the pickleball is neat. All right, so there's where it pauses, as you can see on the screen. So I got to go into Orca Slicer and again go up to the resume function and away we go. And now it's going to put up the profile on the frog. "13 hours" is what it's saying, but we know that is calculated incorrectly. Orca Slicer calculated it to be about 2.5 hours, which is not bad for a frog, especially when it's printing as slow as it will be with TPU. I'm wondering if maybe I need to slow this down even further, because I would say 70% of the sides were fine. It just seemed like where it was going back is where it was having issues. Some of the layers weren't like the stringing that happened here. These are layers that are not attached to the print. Oh, Iceman74, you got your apprentice shield today. Congratulations, my man. Sorry it took so long. Now we're just gonna wait for the chroma kit that might arrive later. Those delays are always fun. Maybe we'll get ours for a Christmas gift. I don't know. Surprise! It's here. Are you excited to assemble it? Like I said in one of our earlier videos, when you go to assemble that thing, please, 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 before you do a calibration, do a bed leveling first, because I did it the opposite way, and it ground a chunk out of my build plate. All right. I can see some frog feet. Toad feet. This is weird. Oops, I bumped the camera. Sorry, guys. No. See if that first layer gets down properly. Yeah, I'm glad we got that reminder out too, because Iceman, that was a bummer. I'm glad they're double-sided build plates, because I would be still without one. I have another one coming from Frozen. They just got to come from China, unfortunately. They don't have any here in the warehouses near us. Almost looks like that Z layer height was a little bit off on that. David, the plexiglass on top of the appendage shield comes off so you can feed PTFE tube from the chroma kit through the top. Okay. So I imagine that's when we get our chroma kits, that's where it'll sit right on top of there. And that's where it'll go straight down through with the 4 tubes, which should be good. Now, this will be interesting. With the chroma kit being it has 4 tubes and 4 separate, I guess it would be almost like 4 separate tool heads, but it's going into one tool head. Do you think it's going to be able to retract TPUs in the machine? Is the TPU multicolored print going to be a thing with this machine? I'm not sure. This is wildly flexible filament. I don't see how. Well, I guess it could retract it, especially since it's in separate PTFE tubes. But it's similar to the setup on the A1 Mini, and I'm not sure the A1 Mini field can handle that. If this frog works out, or toad works out, I'm going to try a squid next. Seems like it's working so far. Looks like there's a little bit of a glob on there that got stuck to the nozzle, but I think that'll be fine. You can see it over there, just to the left of your right of the Arco print head. I think that'll be fine. just because I would imagine you have to swap to a single PTFE tube with printing TPU. That's what I was also thinking. Like, how would it handle the retraction? Because the filament's it's so squishy. It's why I did that purge in the beginning, or not the extrusion, so I could get the rest of the OP PETG out. Like, how do you get the rest of the? But if you're doing all multicolor in TPU, maybe it's possible. I don't know. We'll find out when the chroma kit gets here. I definitely don't think they advertised it. Make sure we got good adhesion here. This doesn't look like any filament's coming out. Roll's not moving either. Yeah, there's no filament coming out. So let's stop this print. I'm gonna have to try to get the filament to come back out. I'm gonna have to force feed it again to get started. I'm gonna move the printhead up. You guys can see on camera here. I'll readjust the camera in just a second. The filament stopped extruding. Looks like a finger coming off the build plate. Heat this up to 230. And, oh, that's too high. Oops. You guys can see I'll lower it down so it's even with the camera. I'll show you guys what the issue I've been having with my PTFE tube in that locking tab. So where that voting clip goes on there, my PTFE tube doesn't bite in there anymore. See if you can see. So my PTFE tube doesn't go in there anymore. So, but we're heated up. We're gonna try to get a nozzle jam. I'm gonna try to retract. And it does not want to retract. Extrude again, yes. Cut this end off here. It looked like it got some sort of weird kink in it. Let's go back to that. This is weird trying to put this in there. It's like trying to feed a wet noodle into the printer. All right, it's extruding again. That's good. That's extruding again. It's like, ooh. There's more glue on that build plate. Try again. All right. Try this again. Going again. Unfortunately, it's gonna have to go through the leveling process again. But that stuff sticks really good like to eat. Gross. I don't know what happened, but it for some reason it looked like when I was going through the shirt, it must have like got wrapped around the ear or something. For those of you that have printed with TPU, what's some of the biggest issues you have with the material? Is it nozzle clogs? Is it jams? What are some of the big things that you have had to troubleshoot in the past? You drop that in the comments and the chat. Okay. I just had to start it manually on the machine. I don't think I tried to upload the same file and it wouldn't overwrite itself. Keep it back down now for you all. Get better angle now too. %61 heated. I think it's a brown TPU, so that when we hit that permanent 1K subscriber mark, we'll print a pretzel. Too bad I don't have a multi-material unit that can do maybe little salt crystals in white. Alright, moving and grooving. I don't know why it caused it to not extrude. I will say the filament looked kind of wonky coming out of the machine. It looked like it got kinked in there somehow. If you're just now joining us on the live stream, we've talked about our troubles with the R code last week. That's why we were on the live stream. Couldn't find that spring, but we figured out a way to get her back up and running this week. We talked about the H2C and some of the drawbacks on that. And for the price, it's not really a machine for us yet. Maybe in the near future, we would like to get our hands on the machine. but it is a little bit higher than a budget than we have. We're looking forward to getting our Snapmaker U1 and testing it out and doing some live streams with that. I'm going to give a shout out to Frozen that they're going to be providing us with one of their enclosures to put around our printer. We'll probably put it around our A1 Mini that's here in the studio. Alfie, give him a little home. And then they're also going to give us a air purifier that we can hook up to the Arco and do some of the abrasive slash more pungent toxic materials, because we can directly with the air purifier not only purify the air but also vent whatever comes out of the air purifier outside. So that'll be cool to get. I don't know when that'll get here, but it'll get here. And the U1 is, we're looking forward to that machine because it's multiple tool heads dedicated to different colors, and we'll be able to print with our abrasives in it. In theory, and that's why we back up printer. That's what it is for us. That's why it's important to us, and we're super excited to get our hands on that, because that could unlock a whole new genre of prints that we can do. All right, we got moving here. All right, so I think we're getting to the point to where we don't have to override this again. It doesn't say happy yet. That's good. We talked about some of the things we're looking forward to. Our SCADAS video that's going to come out. We have a video coming out on the top 7 accessories you can get for gifts for 3D printers for the holiday season. That video will be coming out in the next 24 hours. So stay tuned for that. We're excited to get those watch hours going. Get you guys our filament code out there for the Sunloop filament code. Be glorious. Use that and get the discount and help out the channel. I don't know if it applies for the Black Friday prices though, because I think that's like their bottom line. They cut their filament costs down to the bottom line. All right. Now we're heating the nozzle, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe by this time next week, you guys will see that I have a whole bunch of things printed in TPU. I can't print too many things. I only have like 700 grams of TPU. I can print probably 4 or 5 frogs, a couple squids. Maybe a pickleball too if I can figure out how to do the overhangs. I'm going to keep this forever. It's a memory material. Oh, it's fun. This is always the challenge. Like I don't know where it's going to pause itself and say, "Hey, I'm out of filament," and it's really not. Looks like right now it's just heating, even though it says 0% heating now. What in the world is going on now? I'm not sure what's going on with the machine right now. It just like paused, and it's not paused in the slicer or in the fluid interface. How peculiar. Like it's like frozen. It's frozen. What in the world? I need a power cycle. Yeah, I was just thinking that too, Andrew. Yikes. Glitch. Ugh. Reach the power button. Yep. Okay, power cycle. I've had to do that with my Centauri carbons too lately. I don't know why they've been doing that. Typically dry PETG and TPU for 6 hours at 65 degrees. Respool, then repeat drying. Good results there. That's a lot of work to use that material. Printed trucker. May I ask why you respool it? Does it give it access to like the other side of the filament so it can pull the moisture out of there too? Things I run into TPU is strings. Yeah, there's some stringing in this for sure. If I want to print into more TPU, then I think I'd have to invest in like a filament dryer. Not a AMS heater, but just like a dedicated filament dryer to leave it in. All right, we're up. We're on. Let's try this frog again. I know this camera's turned a little bit. Sorry, guys. I can't get that over there. I bumped it when it came to power cycle it. These birthday cake pretzels are like eating straight sugar with a little bit of pretzel. They're good though. I did trucker as I travel throughout country. Trucker humidity levels vary so much. The Sunlight S4 in the truck is very good. I was looking at the Sunlight S4 just because I love Sunlight products. They just work. I've got their 3D pen. I use it for welding things together, parts together. I've got their filament connector so that I can connect different filaments together that are there's a little bit left on the rolls. Um, and then I do like cool, weird prints with them. Uh, so I'm very impressed with the products. Yes, putter layers become inner layers. Good, even drying. Okay, that makes sense. I'll have to look into getting like a, or maybe even just printing a respooler system. If you guys have any recommendations on like a good respooler out there that we can download and print, I'd love to do that on the live stream. Just sit here and respool. I've got 2 rolls that came off the roll that I need to respool. And then probably dry. That's weird. I have to figure out why the machine's doing that. It gets to that spot and it just freezes. It's like it doesn't want to reload the file. It's going to go in and delete all the files. Like it doesn't want to reread the file. So I deleted all the files on the machine and resent it over. Not the power cycle again. Well, my friends, we've done some TPU test printing. I'd say it's a success. We got it to stick. That was my biggest worry. This is a brand new material for us here at the Glorious Geeks. I'm very fascinated with it. I want to learn it. I want to see what it can do. I want to print some fidget toys in it just to see if they can function, especially things like these dragons and things. See what's going on. Printed trucker, what printer is that? That is the Frozen Arco is what we're printing with. We got this back as a Kickstarter 2 years ago, and we're just now getting the pieces and printer parts and stuff that go with it. We got the Arco back in August, and then we got the Penta Shield, the enclosure that goes around it, I want to say in October, and then we're supposed to get the multicolor system here in the next couple of weeks, months. But printed trucker, do my re-spool by hand right now, hand over hand. I want to say, printed trucker, that there's this really cool, I saw it on Maker World the other day, it just came up on my feed, that you can attach it to a drill. I don't know if you have a drill or not, but you can attach it to the drill and you just fold the other end and away you go. I'll see if I can't find that for next week's live stream. Get that out there. At the very least, get the information to you on next week's live stream. Printed trucker FX plates with nano polymer works great with TPU. Okay, I'll have to check that out. The FX plates with nano polymer, check that out. That'll be pretty cool to see. I like this TPU a lot. I think there's just so many cool things we could do with this. I just got to be able to learn it. We talked about the H2C. We talked about the U1. We've talked about what we had to do to get our Arco back up and running. So if you haven't checked us out, some of our other videos recently, the top 5 3 for kids here on YouTube. And we've got one coming out in the next 24 hours, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't hit that notification bell icon, hit that so you can get notified notified anytime we get a new video uploaded out there for you guys. So thanks for joining on the live stream tonight, guys. And until next time, be glorious.